Welcome everyone to my new show called James's 10-Minute Country, which is going to be a weekly, bi-weekly, biannual, if it doesn't go very well, look at the world of country music, both sides of the Atlantic, sometimes English, sometimes American, and we will examine the best of the new music out there. We will talk about the controversial issues, if there are any. This is country music after all. And we'll get right down to the nitty-gritty of all things Nashville. Just to clue you in on who I am, I bought my first country album in 1993. It was Garth Brooks' In Pieces album. I was a heavy metal fan at the time, and still am to some extent, although at 47 years old now, the sort of stuff that heavy metal and hard rock bands sing about are not really my wheelhouse anymore. So one of the reasons why I found my way into country. The lyrics of working hard and playing hard and family values are where I am these days, and it's easier to listen to songs that highlight those sorts of things than it is young lads in their 20s singing about women and booze and party all night and all that sort of thing. So it was 1993, and it was Garth Brooks' In Pieces album that really opened a door for me into country music, and I spent the rest of the 90s alternating between still listening to hard rock and heavy metal, but listening to the likes of Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Mindy McCready, bless her, Tim McGraw, but it wasn't really until the early 2000s when Sugarland and Keith Urban and Bigger Rich came along that I started to think, hang on, this is something new and different, and it doesn't have to be twangy, traditional stuff that us over here in England haven't got the culture of, and isn't part of our history. And so I'm fairly unashamedly rock country based. I salute the country legends of the past, and I've got various vinyls and best ofs and EPs, but really my interest is in the modern sounding Dan Huff style of country, who I know is controversial. Many people out there believe that a lot of modern country music is just rock music these days, which I suppose is what's suckered me in. But I still think there's plenty of other stuff around that is worth listening to. And then 2010, two massive albums came out which really saw me give my heart and soul to the style of country music that I like, and that was Jason Aldean's My Kind of Party and Zac Brown's You Get What You Give albums. Both of those really just blew me away in what you can achieve nowadays in country music, and obviously country music has changed a lot even since those two albums came out only 8 years ago, to the point where I now almost feel like more of a traditionalist when I'm listening to some of the stuff in the charts and some of the R&B and hip-hop based country stuff that's coming out now, and even stuff from people like Walker Hayes. I find myself going, this is not really country music. and yet I'm sure the stuff I listen to, there's people out there going, that's not really country music. So the debate in the genre goes on and on. But look, this show, this podcast, this YouTube channel is going to be about rocky, modern country music. And if that's not your thing, if you're into tortured Americana, if you're into the folkier side of things, if you're an alt country, East Nashville hipster, this might not be your thing. But if you like more mainstream, more guitar orientated country music, unashamedly cheesy sometimes, 3 chords, big choruses, then I might be the type of person that will highlight some of the music that you might want to listen to. So hopefully you'll stick with us. Hopefully I might be someone of interest for you in the days, weeks, months to come, however long we do this for. So I'm excited today because we're literally about 1 hour away from the announcement of new Eric Church music. He's doing a Facebook announcement at 9 o'clock Eastern Time in America, which I reckon is possibly 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in England today, Thursday the 12th of July. Loved Eric Church. ever since the Chief stuff, The Outsiders, discovered his earlier stuff. Still haven't seen him live. I missed the C2C festival when he played on the Sunday a couple of years ago. I was there other days and I couldn't make it on the Sunday. So I'm hoping that this is a big sign, today's announcement, that we're going to get new music, new album, new tour. And so check out Kip Moore and Eric Church, because Kip Moore is also rumoured to be just about to drop a new acoustic album. There's some acoustic music coming from Kip Moore, and I've seen rumours on Twitter today of people going, oh yeah, Kip Moore single tomorrow, album soon. Eric's album is rumoured to be October the 5th, so let's hope he drops 2 or 3 more songs before then. But yeah, it's always good when there's new music on the way from both Eric Church and Kip Moore. More new music this week, dropped today. Brilliant new song from Cam. Cam is an artist who is going to be huge in her career. We've struck up something of a relationship. I don't mean myself, I mean us English people over here. She's come over to England now a few times, and we've been lucky enough to see her sing live over here, and she's held secret viewings and listenings of her upcoming album for us, and so we have a great relationship with Cam. Her new song Road to Happiness came out today. It's a simple acoustic song. It's got trademark awesome Cam harmonies, well worth checking out. Road to Happiness, the new one from Cam. Something else cool that I've checked out this week as well is Bobby Bones' Bobbycast with Brett Eldridge. I've started listening to the Bobby Bones show on podcast. You can get it in England now the day after it airs in America, and I have to take my dog for like an hour's walk each morning, so every morning I'm listening to Bobby Bones' show, and he's also got a separate Bobbycast in which he invites celebrities, musicians, Nashville people to his house, and the one that I listened to yesterday was fascinating. It was Brett Eldridge, and it was an hour and 10 minutes of therapy for all intents and purposes. Both men ended up talking about their insecurities and hang-ups, and it was a rather deep, insightful look into the psyche of, a musician and a radio producer, author. Well done, Bobby Bones, on New York #1 recently, 2nd in a row, and it was fascinating, and another example of how technology and podcasts and things like that can break down the barriers between artists and fans, and give us all a bit more of an in-depth perception as to what these people in public life go through, because I suspect that they're racked with as many, if not more, insecurities than the likes of me and you. Something else new this week, which will wrap us up I think on our first one, is Keith Urban releasing a video of an acoustic performance of Coming Home, which was much, much, much better stripped back with just him and a guitar than the one that appears on his frankly disappointing Graffiti You album for me. There's some ludicrous lyrics on that album as Keith Urban transitions into some sort of Peter Pan character, trying to produce music that's way, way, way too young for what a man of his age and status should be producing. I loved Ripcord and I loved Fuse, but Graffiti You was probably my most disappointing album of the year, with lyrical lines like she's a maniac in the bed but a brainiac in her head just left me cold, I'm afraid. But this new acoustic version of Coming Home, stripped of its Merle Haggard guitar line and stripped of the bells and whistles of the production, which frankly spoils a lot of Graffiti You with its sort of 80s pop leanings, it is much better. It's earthy, it's organic, it's much more like the Keith Urban that we know and love, and so check that out on YouTube. His newly released version of Coming Home. I think it really, really highlights how good the song is actually, which the recorded version doesn't necessarily do. So check that out. And also, quick shout out to Tim Hicks, Canadian rocker whose album New Tattoo is a bit of Kip Moore, a bit of Bon Jovi, a bit of Bryan Adams. I'm really enjoying listening to that one at the moment. It's called New Tattoo. It's got a great duet with Lindsay L on it, and I think that one from Tim Hicks is probably the one that I'm listening to most at the moment. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to James's 10 Minute Country. I'll see you again next time.